How long should you rest between sets? This is a common question we get, and it's not something to be ignored. It's actually a really important part of the process and can tell us if we're doing enough or too little to stimulate the physiological qualities we want from the exercises we are giving you, depending on your goals and what you have going on. Great, so number one, when we're working on power, let's say you're a little later into your rehab process, we're working on getting back to running and jumping. This can be as long as 3 to 5 minutes plus. This is something where we need full recovery, almost to the point where you're sitting there going, why am I waiting this long? Your nervous system takes a while to recover, and especially to be able to repeat the powerful bout that you want to do. These are exercises like box jumps and Olympic lifts and even sprints. Next, we have strength. This is where a lot of you guys will live, especially early on in the program. This is where we're just building some raw, high peak force strength. Let's say you have some hamstring weakness and we start with a glute bridge. We're going to work to develop raw strength. This is, again, longer rest, 2 to 5 minutes, unless it's supersetted with something. But for a straight set, we're talking 2 to 5 minutes. More rest means that you can hit the next set as strong as you did previously. If you're walking back to the next set and you see a huge decline in performance, it usually tells us we didn't recover enough. And this is especially important if we have pain in the process. These are workouts like deadlift, squats, bench press. You can even lump in a glute bridge, some of the initial external rotation exercises will give you as well. So next, hypertrophy. This is muscle growth. And I will say this is one of the biggest parts of rehab, especially after post-surgical. Rest breaks are between 30 to 90 seconds. Post-surgical, we're talking closer to 90. These shorter rest periods help to build up some fatigue, stimulating muscle growth over time. Think of these things like your dumbbell presses, your leg presses, hamstring curls, bicep curls, etc. Muscular endurance. This is a really important quality, especially for my athletes that do higher rep things like CrossFit or running. This is also really important for teaching the joints control because we want long and slow in that process. These rest breaks tend to be a little shorter. That's why it's called muscular endurance. We need to be able to fatigue you in the process. In fact, we want the rest break short enough to where you're fatigued at an appropriate rate throughout your sets. These are things like higher rep reverse lunges or high rep band rows, kettlebell carries, things that we do for a slightly longer period of time. And these, again, are really important for posture, joint control, and longevity. These are shorter rest breaks and will feel a little bit more fatiguing. And this is mobility and motor control, or something that almost all of you will start with. Think of this as you're stretching, as learning to reuse a joint after post-surgery, or even when you're in a lot of pain and we're looking to reduce it. These are things like isometrics, mobility drills on the floor. Sometimes I'll give you kettlebell activities with some rotation where we're just learning to stabilize the joint again. This is rest as needed. Sometimes it's a 10 to 15 second break to shake it out and get back to it. Other times it's a little longer depending on if you're post-surgical or not. But bottom line, there's no set rest period on these. These are just, hey, can you hit the next set with pretty good quality, with no fatigue or pain levels controlled? A lot of it early on is dictated by pain. And these are things like foot drills, movement retraining, core control, non-heavy activities. Awesome. That's all I got for you guys. Check this out. This will be dropped to you. Learn how to use these rest breaks. And if you have questions on it, please let us know.